The other day, the Senate Banking Committee approved Kevin Warsh to become the next chair of the Federal Reserve. He's about to replace Jerome Powell on May 15th. He's already promised what he calls regime change at the Fed, a new framework for inflation, possibly fewer meetings per year. And he's been signaling that he wants to push for rate cuts as soon as he can convince the rest of the committee to go along with him. And so right now, all over YouTube and all over the financial corners of the internet, there's a message that's starting to spread. And it goes something like this: don't worry about your mortgage. Don't worry about your high payments. The new Fed chair is coming. Inflation is going to eat your debt for you. Just hold on. Just wait. And I'm here to tell you today that something completely different is going to be going on. I'm here to tell you that waiting is not a strategy. Hope is not a plan. And the Fed is not your friend. You don't need to wait on Kevin Warsh. You don't need to wait on inflation. You don't need to wait on anybody. You can cancel your own mortgage in about 10 years or less using math the bank doesn't want you to see. But before I show you that math, I have to be honest about something else, because the numbers don't lie. And there's a lot of misleading math floating around in this space right now, and I'm going to clear some of it up for you today. Let's set the table. Let's say you have a $300,000 mortgage at 6.23%. That's the actual Freddie Mac 30-year fixed rate as of April 23rd, 2026. Your monthly payment on that mortgage is $1,843.25. Now stay with me. Over 30 years, you'll pay the bank $363,570 in interest alone. Read that with me. You'll pay back more than the house cost you just in interest. Just to borrow the money. The house itself, well, that's extra. Now let's talk about your income. Let's say you make $6,500 a month take home. That's roughly the median household income in America, and that's actually after taxes. And let's say your other expenses, everything that's not the mortgage, food, utilities, gas, insurance, the kids, all of it, comes out to $3,157 per month. And after your mortgage and your expenses, that leaves you with about $1,500 a month in free cash flow. Some of you have even more. Some of you have less. Don't focus on the number. Focus on the principle. And some of you even sitting at zero or even negative. We're going to address all of that. Stay with us, okay? Now here's where I have to tell you the uncomfortable part. I ran the numbers on this scenario 3 different ways using current verified rates from Freddie Mac and Carinos. I ran it as a traditional 30-year mortgage with no acceleration. Just pay your bill and keep it moving. I ran it with what most financial advisors would tell you to do. Just take that $1,500 a month and apply it directly to your mortgage principal. No velocity banking, no HELOC, no chunks, just straight extra principal. And what I did is I ran it using velocity banking with the $25,000 HELOC at the Carinos national average of 7.24% with a full paycheck sweep strategy. Okay? Daily balance interest, chunk payments, the whole methodology. Are you ready for what the math actually said? Traditional 30-year mortgage takes 30 years and costs you $763,500 in interest. That's the baseline. That's what most Americans are doing right now without even thinking about it. Just paying the extra $1,500 towards principal directly takes 10.2 years and costs you $104,882 in interest. Velocity banking with the paycheck sweep takes 10.1 years and costs you $103,712 in interest. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? On a low rate mortgage, in this specific scenario, velocity banking only beats just paying extra principal by about 1 month at about $1,100. Now, that's still a win. Because $1,100 is $1,100, but it is not the win that most velocity banking gurus on YouTube are promising you when they show you a mortgage example. A lot of them are showing you the comparison against the 30-year baseline and acting like the HELOC is doing all of the work. The truth is, on a low-rate mortgage, the cash flow is doing the work. The HELOC adds a small edge from daily balance interest mechanics, but on a 6.23% mortgage against the 7.24% HELOC, that edge is small. Folks, I had to tell you that. Remember, we're all about transparency here, okay? Because if I don't tell you somebody else's misleading math, it's going to set you up for disappointment, all right? And when your real world results don't match the YouTube promise, you're going to think you did something wrong. You're going to give up on the strategy and you're going to go back to bleeding interest to the bank for 30 years. And I'm not going to do that to you. Now, hold on. I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute, wait. Hold on. CJ, why are you teaching velocity banking if it only beats extra principal by $1,000? That's a good question. Because here's where it gets interesting. Here's where velocity banking absolutely destroys every other strategy on the planet. It's not on a low rate mortgage. It's on high interest debt. Think about what's actually happening on a mortgage. Your mortgage is at 6.23%. Your HELOC, 7.24%. The HELOC is more expensive than the mortgage as far as numbers go. So when you use the HELOC to attack the mortgage, you're swapping a slightly cheaper debt for a slightly more expensive debt. The only reason it works at all is the daily balance interest savings from that paycheck sweep. Small edge, but what about your credit card? Right now, according to the Federal Reserve, right, the average interest rate on credit cards that are accruing interest in America is 21.52%. That's the official Fed number. Let that sink in. 21.52%. If you have a balance on a credit card, you're paying somewhere around that rate every single month. What about your auto loan? The current average is around 9% for a 5-year auto loan. What about your personal loan? Often 12, 15, 18%. What about a payday loan? Now we're in 300% territory, and I've had them come in at over 900%. But watch what happens when the HELOC at 7.24%, a tax debt at 21.52%. Same household, $6,500 a month income, $5,000 a month in expenses, so $1,500 a month in free cash flow. Let's say you have $25,000 in credit card debt. Same amount we used for the HELOC in the mortgage example. Watch this. If you only pay the minimum payment on that $25,000 of credit card debt, the math is criminal. It'll take you 50 years to pay it off. And there's actually a fella that I know, he's taking 50 years right now if he didn't change his plan. And you would pay $141,794 in interest on a $25,000 balance. Think about that. The credit card company is going to collect almost 6 times what you originally borrowed. That's not a loan. That's bondage with a smile. If you take that $1,500 in free cash flow and just pay it directly to the credit card every month, you'll pay it off in about 15 months and you'll pay $3,563 in interest. That's massively better than minimums. We've gone from 50 years to 1 year and 3 months. Now, watch velocity banking. You take a $25,000 chunk from the HELOC at 7.24%. On day one, you wipe out the credit card. The credit card is gone. Done. Zero balance. No more 21.52% eating you alive. You then attack the HELOC with, that's right, the paycheck sweep. Total payoff time, 18 months. Total interest paid, $1,007. Now compare that to just paying the credit card directly. 18 months instead of 15 months, right? So it takes about 3 months longer because the paycheck sweep mechanic spreads the payments through the HELOC and your living expenses run through it. But the interest you pay is $1,007 instead of $3,563. That's $2,556 saved. That is 71.7% less interest on the same debt with the same cash flow just by routing it through a smarter container. That is where velocity banking shows its real power. That is the use case the gurus should be teaching first before they ever touch a mortgage example. Because that is the math that genuinely changes your family's life. Now let's be mindful here, because I know some of you are watching this thinking about your own situation, and I don't want you to get this wrong. So let me give you the rules of engagement before you go run out and try to apply this. Rule number 1. Velocity banking only works on simple interest debt with daily balance accrual. Okay, you can use it on other stuff, but that's for my community. All right. Most mortgages, most HELOCs, most credit cards, and most auto loans in America are simple interest. But some auto loans, especially older ones, and some subprime loans use what is called pre-computed interest. If your loan is pre-computed, paying it off early does not save you the interest the way you think it does. The interest is baked in up front. So before you start chunking anything, call your servicer and ask them in plain English, is this a simple interest loan or pre-computed interest loan? If they can't answer that clearly, that is a giant red flag, and you need to keep digging until you get a straight answer. Rule number 2, your HELOC has to be at a lower rate than the debt you're attacking. Otherwise, of course, the math would not work, period. If your HELOC is at 7.24% and your only debt is a 6% mortgage, you need to think very hard about whether that small edge is worth the complexity. But if your HELOC is at 7% and you've got a credit card at 22%, that is the no-brainer. Rule number 3, you have to actually have the cash flow margin to make this work. If your monthly expenses already exceed your income, no acceleration strategy in the world is going to fix that. You don't have a debt problem in that case. You have a cash flow problem. You have to address the cash flow first. Either earn more or spend less, ideally both, before you ever touch a HELOC. Rule number 4. And this is very, very important. Your HELOC or your line of credit or whatever it is, it's a tool, not a crutch. The number one way velocity banking fails is when somebody pulls a chunk to pay off a credit card, then immediately runs the credit card balance back up because the temptation of the available credit is too strong. If you can't trust yourself with the credit card after you've paid it off, cut it up. Close the account, whatever you have to do. The HELOC strategy assumes you got the discipline to not recreate the debt you just eliminated. Now, here's what I want you to do this week. If you have high interest credit card debt, auto loans, personal loans, anything above 10 or 12%, velocity banking is the most powerful tool in your toolbox to eliminate them. Not the most powerful tool to attack a low rate mortgage. Know the difference, right? Use the right tool for the right job. If you only have a mortgage and no other debt, then yes, okay? Velocity banking will still help you. But most of the win on a mortgage comes from the cash flow you're applying, from the cash flow that you're redirecting. So focus first on increasing your free cash flow. That's the real lever, okay? Attack the mortgage with whatever method you choose, knowing that the difference between the methods on a low rate mortgage is going to be small. And if you don't know what your situation looks like yet, if you've never seen the actual math on your actual debt, that's where you need to start, because you can't fix what you can't see. And that's why we built the Velocity Banking Wizard. Of course, it's free for those that are in our community, and you will see that there's a link right there in the description link, as well as a pinned comment, so that you have everything that you need to get rid of debt and build wealth in the quickest, most efficient, and effective way possible. Now, On this screen, you're going to see another video that you're going to want to see if you want to know more about velocity banking and redirecting your cash flow so that it ends up back in your pocket instead of their pocket. God bless you, and we'll see you in another video.